Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome you to this edition of Commonsense Talk Show. I welcome some great fighters that have joined me. I welcome you all. I welcome you. I see Tamo Nikhil. I know you are watching. Thank you for making it to this appointment. I hope you just, as soon as you join, you share, and you personally invite some people to join us. Let me see let me see how I can also share like you guys. I want to share this. So keep on sharing and inviting. Let's have some time. Let's put some fire in the struggle. We need it right now. Let's put some fire inside the struggle. I have some good news. We've been having some bad news all around, but I have some good news that should encourage every warrior. So let me see this. Let me reduce this volume. So please share, please share. I'm also sharing. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm sharing. Share it on your page. Share it on share it on the timeline. Share it on Twitter. Share it all over the place. Okay. You know, when the Secretary General is paying so much attention to a country is an indication that something is happening. There is pressure from somewhere. When Biya was in the United Nations, I don't know how many, but from the I think by the 22nd we were in New York. 22nd of September we were in New York to march, to demonstrate. Biya was, during that time he was in New York, and he personally met with the Security Council, the Secretary General of the Security Council. So they had a tete-a-tete. And when in those kind of meetings, they tell you what they want you to do, what they expect you to do, given the crisis that is going on. And then they follow up with telephone calls, with they send their advisors to the ground to talk to you. And when you see within 50 days, the same Secretary General going back to that country, even if it were just for 1 hour, to talk to the president or to the government, it means there's something boiling. So I want you to know this, because there are some people who say because he didn't go to Manfe, Acquire, and Bui and go and see how many people have been massacred and what human rights abuses are going on, he already has ample significant reports from actors on the field, both UN actors and independent actors. So he already has that piece of information. He's not coming there as a politician. Surely he's coming to reiterate some things, some points, such as they told him before, that go and address the issue from the root. So that is why when pressure is coming in from members of the Security Council like the US and others, you find this Secretary General working round the clock, doing things repeatedly. You know, he's under pressure. I want to tell you that Biya is not off the hook. He is under real pressure now. Kudos to the diplomatic team that has been making efforts. I know the law firm and others and individual actors. I want to say congratulations. The other thing is that Mancho is alive. Mancho BBC is alive. He gives a lot of life to the struggle. When he makes a statement, expressly or impliedly, sometimes with his attire, he just speaks to the people that I want unity, please. Sometimes with the raising of a hand, that a luta continua. Mancho is alive. And Pen Terence is still alive. Patrick Dango is still alive. They are in prison, but alive. And that's why I have hope. I have hope that this is not the end. Despite the disappointments from the unexpected, I know that we are going forward, because there are still some people to whom this struggle means life or death. There is a statement attributed to Mancho this morning, where they said, he said in the court, told the colonial military judge that they should sentence him to death and set free the rest of the prisoners. I hail you. What I want to tell you, Mancho, if you will hear this broadcast, is that you will not die. You will not die. One day you will walk out of that jail, and we shall be in Boya together. We shall lift up that same hand and say victory at last. You won't die. No traitor shall cause your death in prison. No traitor, no one. The Almighty God, who is the watchman of this nation, shall grant us the victory. And we shall celebrate. We shall celebrate. Tell your comrades, we shall celebrate. I started warning people on this program. I'm the one who told you that when a general is captured, he loses his rank. That he can no more command the army in captivity. People started stoning me from then. But it made a lot of sense, isn't it? That is when Bala and Co were just a few weeks in prison. That was when he was using his phone to give messages and control the revolution from prison. I told you that. Now later on, shortly after that, I told you that there is Mbala and Sons enterprise. That one gave me I even received more stones from that one. And that this thing called the struggle or the consortium was being metamorphosed into Mbala and Sons enterprise. And some people said, no, I'm jealous. Look at me very well. I can't be jealous of Agbambala. He's no more educated than me. I don't know what he has that I don't have. Why? Why? I said these things that I saw with the eyes of a pundit and with the eyes of a praying person. I told us. I also went ahead and told you that in politics, as in diplomacy, you don't fall in love with anybody. Fall in line. Don't just follow somebody because he looks nice, he's young, he's energetic, he's eloquent. I just say, that's my man. No, you don't do that in politics. You do that in fashion parades. In politics, you better give me something to believe in and follow. The moment so when you come to me, I want to know the content you bring. If you don't bring what I need, I don't follow you. I don't care who you are. I don't care our past relationship. It's not an emotional business. At any point you stop giving me what to follow, I don't follow you. You're not my enemy, but you are not my friend. And I don't follow you, period. I can start following you at a certain point. I see you're going astray. I stop following you, period. That's what it is. You know, I told you again that there are accidental freedom fighters and there are natural freedom fighters. Oh, people said I was going too far. Now let me ask you a question. Which of these things that I said is wrong today? Which one? Tell me one of them that I said that was wrong. And I think that if people had listened to me, because I did not just make a statement because I heard it from somewhere, I was not just being an echo. I was bringing these things when nobody suspected them. And I was saying them emphatically, using the easier, presenting it in a manner that can easily be understood. But no one, even those who believed in me, they said, well, let's watch and see. The reason why governments and military, they have intelligence is because they have to be proactive. They have to take decisions before it's late. And I wish that some things were done and put in place. Some people were neutralized before they used their power negatively against us, before now. And that's why I would humbly like to remain in my position so that I can freely talk when I see it. And those people who want to stifle debate, stifle controversy, contrary opinions, you don't love this revolution. You must listen and Listen well. Sometimes when you don't understand, just listen and stay quiet. That's true. Today I want to tell you some things. I almost just decided, I almost canceled the program today because when I heard of what Mancho happened to Mancho, that the case was adjourned, I was so low. And when I thought that anything I may have to say has to mention this traitor, I even went low again. But I want to, as much as possible, not center it on this man, Bala. I would like to say some things that are very deep. I want you to take note of those things. Cameroon, the Cameroon government is a bloody dictatorship. Paul Biya is the bloody dictatorship. In every dictatorship, there is a ruling class. There is a ruling class. This is what I would like to refer as the mafia. The mafia. There is a mafia in every ruling class, in every dictatorship, whether it is in the former Uganda, whether it is in North Korea, whether it is in Iran. In every dictatorship, whether it is in Russia, in every dictatorship, there is a ruling class, which I call the mafia. The mafia is in charge. The mafia is a small clique of people, so powerful. Some may be in government, some are not in government, but they are very dangerous. They control the mechanism of government. They are the untouchables. They are very dangerous. They are wealthy. They control the wealth of the nation. They have everything in their hands. They are in control. They control the army. They control the secret police. They are always the shadow behind the things that happen in government. They control the appointments and the dismissals. Sometimes they are as low as they can just be mayors. They could just be a colonel in the army. They could just be a chief somewhere. They could just be the head of a secret society. But they are the mafia. Sometimes the head of a church. They all constitute that mafia that runs every dictatorship in the world. In Cameroon, there is a mafia. There is a mafia. That mafia is basically, essentially, a Beti mafia. I call it the FRENCH-BETI mafia. It is FRENCH-BETI. The rest are just servants to that mafia. The ministers in government that are not from that mafia are those who are recommended by that mafia, who are working for that mafia, who have been approved by that mafia, who don't go against the laws of that mafia. They are the ones who control, who hold it. They determine who is appointed where. They determine who is the next president. They determine who is the next, who should be a prime minister and who is not. Who should go to prison and who should be killed. Who should be neutralized. Who should be stopped. It's that mafia that is in control. That mafia determines the business. You can't do business without that mafia approving you. You can't. It determines, some of them are businessmen, some of them are chiefs, some of them are politicians in government, some of the people in the mafia, in the army, they are in the church. Even in the courts, some of the judges are part of that mafia. That's why sometimes when they want to crucify you, they take your case to that particular one, the one who can easily say yes to the mafia. That's what I used to talk when I talk in my program. I call it the Esingan. I used to use the word Esingan mafia. That is a Esingan cult. That is the mafia that controls that nation. And that's why When the mafia bosses are in control, the president can go and live in Switzerland for 3 months and pay a courtesy visit to the presidency, and everything is still in place. The president can be in Europe for 2 months and pay a brief visit to the presidency. The mafia is still in charge. They pull the shots. Those who dare against the mafia, they are ostracized, they are penalized, they are killed, they disappear. When you hear bishops being killed, who is killing them? When you hear people just vanish and disappear, who's killing them? It's the mafia. And they are untouchable. None of them will be arrested. None of them will be sent to prison. If you belong to that mafia where you pull the shots, you are above the law, above the constitution. They control. If you go against the law of that mafia, you are jailed, you are killed, I'm sorry, if you go against the laws of that mafia, terrible things will happen. You will be abducted, you know. You will be sentenced. You will be taken to a kangaroo trial where they will try you and they sentence you summarily. Nobody to say anything about that. Now, let me say this because I was trying to show you. The Southern Cameroon's desire for restoration goes contrary to the will of the mafia. It is contrary to the will of the mafia. One, it deprives them of the source of their wealth, which is in Southern Cameroon. Because this mafia is not only made up of the home-based mafia, which is the Esingan called, but the multinationals, which are basically French, the ELF and the Total, they form part of, that's the international core of that mafia. So when they agree, it is okay. It is final. They don't want our independence. They don't want any dialogue that will compromise that power that they exercise over our resources and over our territory. They don't want any dialogue. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want any system of government that will take away any of that power from them. They don't want it. So anybody who is working in collaboration with this Esingan mafia and saying that there is a way we can negotiate and bring and put a system in place that will satisfy the people of Southern Cameroon, you are naive. You are naive. These are the people, this is the mafia that has stood against every form of genuine dialogue. Because, you see, to the ordinary La République citizen, they don't see why is the government not doing anything. Because they don't see the need, why their government is not saying anything, why they are not trying to do something. Because when they look at it from a logical perspective, it does not make sense. But to the mafia, it makes sense. To the mafia, it makes sense. So that's why many things the government don't make sense to the ordinary man. It looks like stupidity, foolishness. It looks like they are blind, they are stupid. No, it's the thinking of the mafia. When this problem started in Southern Cameroon by the lawyers, and then the teachers, and then the civil society came together. The mafia said, the mafia bosses said, they have tried it before, they failed, so forget about it. Yeah, he said, just ignore them. Send some soldiers there, go and stop them. So the mafia bosses in the army went there with a heavy hand to teach them a lesson and said they will stop. And some of their people, their servants like Laurent Esso and the rest started saying, when they are hungry, they will go back to work. When they are hungry, they will go back to work. What do they mean? What can they do? We are in control here. So, when they discovered that these people, consortium was intransigent, they said, no, how come? Okay, since we try to talk to them and they will not listen, get them arrested and throw them in prison. So it's the mafia that actually ordered their arrest. The mafia ordered the mass arrest of the consortium leaders. Because they say, okay, these are the noisemakers. These are the ones that are responsible for the disorder. Arrest them, throw them to jail. If everything returns to normal, kill them. That's how the mafia thinks. They are not normal. They are not normal. They don't think like normal human beings. Their intention was, if the situation can get back to normal after we have arrested and taken care of these ones, then why should we send them back to go and foment more trouble? Just deal with them. Eliminate. So they kept them there in prison, trying to see if they can bring back the situation to normal before deciding what to do with these people. But thank God for Ambazonians. Thank God for the leadership of the struggle with people like Patassa, who saw it coming and we needed to step up our game. Thank God for the coordinators in nations who marched, who mobilized. Thank you for every struggle, every contribution you made. We stepped up the game, and the mafia went back to the drawing table. They said, this thing is not going anywhere. They tried to kill some people, and this thing was not going anywhere. So the mafia thought that, why don't we try and get some people from within, so that they will help us better. You know, when you are arrested by the mafia, there are two things the mafia tries to do. It's to win you over to the mafia, to work for the mafia. Mafias don't really, these are hostages. They take you as a hostage to their place, and they bring you to in their circle, and they want you to agree to work for them. So they give you a choice. You either work for us, or you will not be there to enjoy anything you are working for. That's how the mafia bosses talk. That's how the mafia bosses talk. And so from the time they arrested our brothers and took them to prison, I told you people that we should not listen to them. Because I know these things I'm telling you now. I said, don't listen to them. Because he was in the hands of the mafia. And they were going to do everything to turn him around. So we were supposed to forget about them in terms of following their instructions or their directions until they are free and we see what they have become after freedom. That's why I mentioned the things I mentioned to you. But because I did not come here and say, yo, thus says the Lord, yo, some people didn't believe me. Okay, next time I'll be saying, thus says the Lord, so that you can understand and believe me. Okay. So, they immediately, the mafia ordered the arrest, and they were informed that they have him in custody. They zoomed in. They had to send intermediaries. People like General Elokobi, people like Muna. They had to come in in the sense of trying to help them in prison, trying to establish a cordial relationship, trying to beat their ego down so that they can look onto the mafia as people who can protect them, who can help them. So they started looking onto Muna for protection. People looking for favors from people like General Elokobi, who are part of the mafia, working for the mafia. See, even if he can protect them. And started leaning on them. And then when they started leaning on them, they started giving them suggestions and directions. The negotiations started. And they were compromised. Those who are surprised today that they have been compromised, they were compromised in prison. They were compromised in prison. I said it, and I told you that if they came out and they were not compromised, I will apologize. They were compromised in prison. Because the mafia zoomed in and made them all kinds of proposals. Because the mafia discovered that the problem was not going away. So killing these people will not help. Killing them or sentencing them to life as they had intended from the charges will only have afforded them any help if the problem was going away. They discovered that this problem is not going away. So why should we take these people out? Let's find a way to use them. And it is clear today who agreed with the mafia and who rejected the offer from the mafia. That's why I asked you that at the other time, say, why is Mancho in prison? Why is Mancho still in prison? The same charges, in front of the same judge, arrested at the same time. Why is he still in prison? And why is Fontaine free and Bala free? Why? People say, oh, give them time. Maybe they will release him later. You don't understand. You don't understand how dictatorships work. So from the time the poster boy of the mafia left the prison, he started working for the mafia. And the mafia had already pre-planned everything that will happen after he leaves. He will have access to money to do whatever. They can do as he will have access to his passport. They can say, for example, they will close your account so that in the eyes of the public, it will appear as if you don't have. But if he makes his finger like this, the mafia will give him any amount of money to do whatever he wants. When the people like the French, like the elf, when they want to, what they give to the mafia to influence mafia is millions of dollars. They don't give small thousands of francs. So anything he wants, wherever he wants it, they'll do it. Because it works for them. He's the one who will deliver, help them deliver. Because all those delegates or elite appointed to work for the mafia have failed the mafia. So they need to recruit some new ones who can be able to break this stalemate, who can be able to penetrate this new system that they are trying to resolve. So he is the slave of the mafia. He is the poster boy of that mafia. So what is the mission of Agbombala today? Let me tell you the summary of its mission. Given to him by the mafia. The mafia has chosen him. He is the chosen one by the mafia. By the FRENCH-BETI French mafia. He is the poster boy, the chosen one, to break the separatist movement, which is giving them headache. They don't have any problem people talking about the structure of government, the kind of government, the type of government. Those are internal issues. They will resolve them one way or the other. But their problem is this separatist movement that is growing in strength. He has become the poster boy of the Beti French Mafia to break that movement to pieces and to neutralize it. That's his assignment. Assignment number 1. While he is doing that from a tactical, diplomatic angle, tactical because he will use all methods. If I will have time, I will be coming on to this program. I can have this program every day of the week, so that I will say things. I will take them gradually and begin to explain in all details, because sometimes I feel as to summarize, and I don't say a lot enough. Listen. Here's the strategy. While he is tactically dismantling the separatist movement or the restorationist movement, they will be going down underground with the military to wipe out every vestige of resistance. Every vestige of resistance. I should tell you that while Bala is calling for schools to resume, for lawyers to go back to work, and for the normalcy, the state of normalcy to return, the military is increasing its gear in the genocide that's going on. They are still hunting human beings as animals in the forest. They are still killing them, systematically eliminating them. In French, they say effacer. They are just wiping them out. Whole communities have been forced to dislocate. People have run in the forest. I don't know how many have died in the forest. The mafia is working. While this man is sent all over the place to talk to people, to give the sense of, here is the leader that we arrested now. This is what he's saying. While the international community is distracted by what is going on, the military are sent by the mafia are busy eliminating every vestige of resistance on the field. That is how the mafia works. Today we are talking about Bala. Nobody is talking about the others who have just been killed by yesterday night to today. How many thousands more have become refugees? How many have disappeared? That is going on now as we speak. People are just being abducted. They pick them on checkpoint, they take them away. They follow them up through their phone, they pick them, and the mafia is busy at work doing that. While there's somebody who is saying, okay, I am the leader, I used to be the leader, I called this strike, I'm the one who called up this strike, and I want to tell you that we are ready for peace. We don't want a divided Cameroon, we want to be together, we stand for a united Cameroon. There's no problem, schools should go back, and we are going to see how to settle that. While that is going on, the mafia will be doing what? Eliminating, using the military to break the resistance. They will break it by all means through abduction that's still going on. Hundreds or thousands are now in unknown prisons. Many have died. Even their corpses were transported to places where even if they have to investigate, they may not find those graves. And today, if they call off this, everything goes back to normal, and they are asking for, we are waiting for our people to come back. A vast majority will not come back to our communities because they have died, they have disappeared. The mafia has ordered them killed, and they have made sure that where their graves are, they will never be discovered. And that's what they will continue to do while Bala is in their hands, constituting this grand international distraction. He should be going now to the diaspora where we have made some serious gains. Then he will be there to arrange, and those meetings are arranged by the mafia, who in the core of our struggle knew about the arrangement of the meeting and the arrival of Bala before time. Who are those who actually arrange it? It's the mafia that arranges the meeting. The mafia is in France, it's in Britain, it's in the embassies all over. They have agents that they send. They are the ones who arrange those meetings for him to come and talk. Because they know what he's coming to talk. And he must toe the line. Or you know what the mafia will do with him? He is not a free man, he's still a prisoner. He's a prisoner of the mafia. You know, when the Constitution cannot grant you, cannot protect your freedom, it takes a presidential decree to grant you freedom when it is your right. He was taken to Kondengi. They were taken to Kondengi instead of the court to constitutionally or interpret the law and set them free. They used the presidential decree to release them. That's no freedom. That makes you a slave to the mafia. Because if it's a court that interpreted the law and say, according to our law, you are free, we have not found any evidence against you, then you are free and protected by the Constitution. But when it is a decree that can be signed today and another one signed tomorrow, that's how the mafia works. That's how the mafia works. The mafia is ready to give him any amount of money to buy any lawyer he wants. He thinks that by so doing, whatever he tells the mafia, that this is what I need to get this job done, they will give it to him. They will give it to him. They will give it to him. That's why he can fly in through the airport and they will be greeting him. They will be forcing the title Mr. President to him. And they will see him fly and see him fly in. The mafia at the airport, they are everywhere. But he can fly in and out, but you and I cannot fly in and out. Because we are threats to the mafia. We are threat to the mafia. Now, there is a monkey dialogue that will be organized very soon. There will be a monkey kind of dialogue. That will be organized after the meeting. I hear a lot from little sounds. When Musonge came out and said the people want dialogue. That's what I hear. How can Musonge be so dull? He needed to go for this, for an appeasement meeting to know that the people needed some dialogue. Now, that's an indication that that pleases the mafia now. So here's the thing. They did not want to organize any dialogue when they were not sure of the outcome of the dialogue. The mafia wants to be in control. So now that they have one Bala on their side, talking the same talking points, schools should go back, lawyers should go back, they should, this matter should be examined, civil society has to talk with government. That's what he said in BBC. That's what he said in Britain, that the civil society should be the one to talk with the government. It should not be the this elite, this CPDM elite. And who is that civil society? Who is that Anglophone? Those civil society. He is the president of the Reform Consortium of Civil Society Organizations. So in other words, he wants to talk with the government. Or whatever charade they will put together, he will be the poster boy of the Anglophone talking with the government. So there's going to be some form of a dialogue that will be put in place. A kangaroo kind of dialogue that will be put, a forum that will be put in place. A monkey dialogue that will take place. And this man, Abombala, will be in that meeting. He will play a very pivotal role in that forum that they are going to set up. The mafia will be in perfect control, so they have no problem. The mafia will be in perfect control. They have no problem with that because they know the outcome. He will go there and say, we just want a form of this, we want this nation to stay together. They say, yeah. We want a form of at least give some autonomy. They say, yeah, that's making sense. If the mafia is pulling the shots, they have no fear. They can give you anything with the left hand and take it with the right hand. The mafia knows that he who is talking about decentralization and federation, that will be given to them, given to the Southern Cameroon by the by who? By the mafia. It's not. It's a good. It's talking. Is well. It's talking well because when the mafia gives, the mafia can take. They just need to sign one decree in the morning and withdraw the powers from this and that. They are still in control. and withdraw the powers of the regional and or the state assemblies and cut down, and they fire them as they like, just like they fired Joa. And they dissolve the parliament. They can do that. The decrees can do that. So no problem. So that is how they are working. That's how they are working. So he will become, Bala has become the La République favorite attack dog to hit us in the area of our strength. Do you know the area of our strength? Our strength has been the strike actions, and number 2, our diplomatic offenses. Those have been our strong areas in this struggle. And he has become the favorite attack dog to destroy, to break us down, to break our strength, to make sure that the strikes stop. And number 2, our diplomatic offenses and diplomatic gains are completely brought down to 0. And the mafia is ready to pay anything for that. The mafia is ready to pay anything for that. But money, they should be careful. Money cannot do it. Money has done it before, up to now. Anybody who is going down that road, bowing down to the mafia, taking money and working for them, will only go down to the dunghills of history. He will not succeed. History is being written as I speak. Bembala, you will be on the trash, in the trash of history. That's what you will be remembered for. I chose to be on the side of Ndeli, who may not be very popular, but I tell you as it is. But it's at the end that they will know. History, historians always write about the past. They will look at the past and say, who was on the right side? The CPDM French-BETI Mafia, they want to use him to legitimize the so-called honest dialogue, which they are going to put in place very soon. They are going to make a kangaroo conference or meeting. When he has gone all around as he's going, he will come back. They will say, you see, he went there to unite the Anglophones and the opposition. And now, that as a result, we decided to make a dialogue. And he is a principal actor in this dialogue. So the Anglophones, as they call us, are represented. That's why you will not hear the word Southern Cameroons again in his mouth. Anybody who is brought over by the mafia does not recognize the name Southern Cameroons. He will call us Anglophones, because we are just phones. We are just a sound. We are not a people. We are just a sound, a linguistic group. When I hear those words, for me, they mean a lot. For some people, they'll say, he's talked about Anglophones now. You don't even know the difference between a Southern Cameroonian and an Anglophone. You don't know. When somebody uses those two, you don't know how to classify them. So let me show you what he will do. He will be used to legitimize that kangaroo conference or round table. Because once they see him participating, they will say that, okay, therefore they are talking. The dialogue is going on peace. This man is this young man is a man of peace. He's trying to find a solution. That's why the leader who was in prison is talking. So they will use him to give that image of legitimacy to whatever they will cook together. Then after that, if he succeeds, he will now be given a ministerial appointment. So, Your Excellency, Secretary General or Assistant Secretary General. They cannot trust him. If they give him a Secretary General, they will now give him a very powerful Assistant Secretary General who is of the mafia, who control him. Or they will make him Minister of Communication after Chiroma has left. Because Chiroma has worked for the mafia for this long. Right now, they needed somebody else. Because they appointed Chiroma so that he can talk to the Northerners. They can hear his voice always. And they will listen to him and they will quiet down. So now that is the Anglophones who are making more noise than the Northerners. They can change it and make him, because he is a good orator. Bala is a good orator. They can make him the Minister of Communication after Chiroma. Or he's a legal mind. Why not make him a Minister of Justice and make him a Vice Prime Minister? Minister of Justice, Vice Prime Minister. They will give him a key, or Minister of Territorial Administration. So they will say, okay, he's the one in charge of restructuring the government, the state, so that there will be representation, so that the autonomy, the issues of autonomy can be resolved. That's why we made him Minister of Territorial Administration. And then they give him a secretary, a minister, a Secretary General of the ministry, or a Vice Minister, a Secretary of State Minister, who is of the mafia, who can put him under control. This is what will happen. This is what will happen. So here are my recommendations before I depart. I came here today to make some recommendations. The consortium was banned by the mafia in Cameroon, but it is still alive. Because it is still alive. It is a member of SCACUF. So that consortium should right away, wherever it is right now, they should meet and pass a vote of no confidence on their former president. Even if it's just symbolic, it should be done. A vote of no confidence, a symbolic vote of no confidence. The international community should stop calling him what he is not. And they should stop giving the false facade of the representative of the Anglophones, because he represents the consortium of civil society organizations, which he no longer represents, and it doesn't exist anymore in Cameroon. And where it exists, he is no longer the president. That should be done. People on the ground should withdraw any form of allegiance, any form of recognition, any form of respect for this man. They should be ordered to do so, and the earlier the better. Then he should not be treated different from Atanga Jipo. He should not be treated different from Tabe Tando or Musonge. He should not be given any form of regard more than these people, because he is just the poster boy of the same mafia. And when they asked him why was he not part of the delegation that they sent, he said it's because it was an exercise in futility because of the kind of people that they sent to the dialogue. They should have sent lawyers and the civil society and clergy, people who have credibility, who have legitimacy, like him, like a lawyer, like lawyers. So that's what it is. So you discover that he has to be treated like his colleagues by our movement. No disrespect for what he has done in the past, but to tell me that because of the past, I should accept whatever he does today. I should respect you today, not for what you are doing now, but for what you did in the past. History will give you what you deserved, but now we address you the way you are dressed. Maybe the day he will change his attire, we shall give him back whatever we owe him. he visits the diaspora, he should be given, he should be directed, the diaspora should be directed to disgrace him wherever he shows up in the diaspora. The way we would disgrace Atanganji Paul and Chiroma if he visited in the diaspora, that's the way, the kind of disgrace we should give him. When he goes there, we should carry the, in fact, we should give him the disgrace of his life. Carry the same placards that we carry when Bia is in Hotel Intercontinental. And carry the pictures of the refugees. More than 50,000 refugees. And as I tell you, they are still moving. Carry those pictures. And carry the dead that are dying. Those who have lost limbs and are maimed in hospital. Those who are dead. Those who are in prison. Carry it and go and show Mbala as if it is Bia that came around. That's the way he should be treated now. We should size him up and give him his chair where he belongs. Before the damage and the hemorrhage continues. Before we get to the point where life is sapped out of the struggle. Before we get to before the distraction becomes bigger than the job that we have to do. Because he is on a mission. He's not going to end in Britain. They have organized it for him to be at the House of Commons. They will soon organize him for him to be at Élysée. They will soon organize him for him to be in DC and some other places. We should resist him with every ounce of our being. That's my take. Enough with politics. Trying to be decent, trying to be nice, and things are going down the drain. Some people tell me, wait, just wait and see. Wait and see what? How many drops of poison should I drop in your cup before you know it's dangerous? Tell me. Let me just wait and see. Why don't you drink it and let me see whether you will die before I know that it is dangerous? How many drops of poison should I drop inside your cup before you know this is dangerous, we should throw it away? It is the naive that say, no, let us just wait and see. Let him be doing his own, we too we shall be doing our own. What do you mean by that? Do you know how many lives are that, any mistake we do in leadership of a revolution, how many lives are it cost? You can have patience because you have not lost a direct member of your family. You can have patience because you are not one of those people who are dealing with the losses. Anybody that is playing with people's lives and people's destiny, because he can fly first class and fly anywhere and go in and go out and have access to money and play. This is not a game. Is it a game? Is this a game? It's not a game. We are not politicking here. We are talking about life and destinies. Let me end up here and let me tell you something. Bala was sent to prison. He was arrested by the mafia because the civil society was trying to talk with the government. Now he has been released. And his recommendation is that the civil society should reconstitute and start talking with government. Tell me, is that not insanity? Is that not insanity? Okay, what gives him the confidence that the first time the civil society came together to negotiate with government, they were arrested? This time around, when the same civil society comes together to negotiate with government, they will not be arrested. What gives him that confidence? It's because of the deal with the mafia. Because this time it will not be a dialogue. It will be the semblance of dialogue. That's why he's confident, saying that the civil society should be the one to go and talk, to come together. And he says he is for unity. He wants to bring up the unity before they come to that dialogue. So his mission now is to bring unity. Is this how to bring unity? How many times have you called? Why is your first visit outside not to pay a courtesy call to the governing council? Why is your first call not to go to the diaspora and meet the leadership and then have a meeting with them? Why is that not the first call if you are actually trying to unite the Anglophones or Southern Cameroon for dialogue? So it's not for... if this poster boy of the cult says that he is for unity of Anglophones, let me tell you what it means. It's not unity for bringing the Southern Cameroonians together, the independentists together or constitute any forum for dialogue. No, it is to unite the forces of the Unionists of the one Cameroon, of the United Cameroon, like people like Kawala. He also mentioned some Francophones who have the same line of thought. People like Cabral, and then maybe he thinking of people like John Frundi. He can lean on him, and people like Muna. And those are the forces he's trying to unite together for. And the people like this other man, Munzu, see how he can unite them together. And some of their representatives in the diaspora, because there are some people in the diaspora who believe in this craze concerning federalism. He's trying to see how they can come together and then now constitute a representation in that dialogue. He's not talking about the real people who the mafia doesn't want to talk to. Because if he wanted to talk to the independentists, he will pay his first courtesy visit to the secretary, to the secretariat. He would have gone to South Africa. He would have gone to Nigeria. Probably would have come to the US. He would have met with the governing council, would have had some meetings and know exactly which way he is going. He's not working for us. He's not working for Southern Cameroons. The unity and the peace he's looking for is not for Southern Cameroonians. He's looking for anything that he will deliver to the mafia and say, I did my job. How can you recommend the same solution the same kind of dialogue that you were involved in and you were arrested? Now you say that is where we have to go back to the same kind of dialogue. The people who were arrested because of that dialogue are still in prison. They have not been released. Then you said, no, we can still do that particular dialogue. We shall resolve the problem. How? How can you tell us, prescribe that we should do the same thing and we shall get different results? Who gives you that guarantee? You have opportunity. Bala had opportunity to talk at in the House of Commons, and considering the role that the British have to play in this matter, we expected that he will go there and say it as it is, because he knows the truth. He's not ignorant. He knows it. He has read it, and he keeps on now trying to rewrite the history, the very short history. He says that when he started the strike, he was never for, the consortium was never for, it never stood for restoration of independence. It never, they were always for federation and dialogue. It's a lie. A lie. Let me show you this before I depart. Let me show you that it's a lie. Let me show you. Some of you have seen it online, but not everybody. Are you seeing this? This is the demonstration that the lawyers led at the beginning of the struggle. They were talking about eradication, complete eradication of our education is going on, and that the only a two-state federation or outright independence can save the common law and Anglophones. So you see how he has changed, and he's pretending he has not. My battery is up, and I want to stop right here. Tomorrow, I would like to have a question and answer session so I can answer some of your questions. And I will announce the time. God bless you. Aluta continua. Share this if it has been a blessing to you. Bye-bye.